Welcome to another episode of SpeakUp, LightUp. If you are entrepreneur, oncepreneur who would like to start your own business, grow the existing one, make a vision come true, or simply level up your life, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you are watching us on YouTube, if you are a podcast lover and you're listening us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Reason, don't forget to follow, share the episode if the information you receive resonates with you. And by the way, if you have any questions regarding the topics we've covered so far, or maybe you have some suggestions what you would love to learn more about, dive into any specific topic, comment below, and we will bring amazing experts and find the solutions together. Today we're going to talk about money, or to say precisely about some strategies and tools how to build a long-term wealth. And we have an amazing guest who is joining us today and going to share some maybe blueprint how to build the short-term, long-term wealth and consider different ways how to create the passive income stream. So let me introduce our amazing guest. It's Angeline. She's a seasoned real estate investor, speaker, co-author of best-selling book Cracking the Rich Code. Over the last decade, her main focus has been developing a system that creates multiple streams of passive income. Today, Angeline is educating clients on the power of investing using easy to understand wealth principles, and we have an honor to have you here today. Hi.
Hey Valerie, I'm so grateful to be here on your show. You are in UK, I'm in Dallas, Texas, and now we are here on the Zoom. So amazing.
Yeah, indeed. So it's the power of technology, connecting people all over the world, and we're actually feeling so privileged to have experts tuning in and sharing these nuggets, how to build successful businesses, how to make visions come true, but as well as how to bring life to the very next level. And today we're going to talk about sometimes, women. I've been working with women for the last, I believe, 4 years. And when it comes to money, particularly wealth management, net worth numbers, I feel like there is a tension, or there is like kind of lack of understanding or knowledge or whatever it is. But when you ask simple question like are you aware about the net worth, your investment strategies, there is normally no answer, or avoiding these conversations, or just you're feeling there is no really clarity. So it's great that we have the opportunity to talk about this today. So my question would be, from where to start, as easy as it is.
Yes.
So maybe, I don't know, of course, setting like realistic and tangible financial goals, or whether it's starting from building your understanding about your net worth. So what would be your advice?
And I do agree with you. Sometimes when it comes to the topic about money, investing, it sounds a little bit intimidating. And it also sounds a little complicated. Because when was the last time we went to school, right? The school really teach us how do we invest and anything about money, right? And
Absolutely.
when was the last time our parents even teach us any of that stuff? I still remember when I grew up in China, my mom taught me that, you know what, you just go to work and then go to school first and then get a good grade and then find a good job, and then my life would be set. So I followed that blueprint, right? I thought, this is it. This is my ticket to freedom, which is work for somebody. Like, I was imagine myself being an executive in a company. I thought that's my financial freedom. So when I came to the US, I get my master degree, but it didn't work out. Even though I get the master degree, but I only get offered the minimum wage. At that time, that was the first turning point in my life. I start to think, I said, well, working for somebody else is not going to give me financial freedom, right? So at that moment, I picked up a book very, very famous in the US. I'm not sure in UK. Have you read about it? It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad by
Absolutely.
Rich. Okay. Yeah, that was a book. I picked it up. I said, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Wow, sounds so good. What is that about, right? And then I start to reading that book. I realized it really planting a seed in my mind that number one, I can become an entrepreneur. Number two, I can be an investor. And that's a seed planted in my mind, but I don't know where to start it, right? Where to start. It sounds great that you can be your own boss, you can have money work for you, you can be an investor. But there's so many informations out there. Where do we start? So I think the first step, I want you to realize it's okay. It's normal that we feel that there's no clarity because that we wasn't taught, right? So it's okay. So now where do we get started? It's number one, I also want your listener to realize that it's possible. Whether you are women, you are a man, you are young, or you have more experience, right? It's all possible for everybody to master the language of money. It's very, very simple. All you need to do is number one, start with the clarity in mind. Think about this, Valerie. What's the purpose of we work, right? Whether you work for somebody else, you are entrepreneur, you are small business owner, right? What's the purpose? We want to have a better and joyful life to enhance our living experience, right? Make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah,
so we are not here to trade our time for the money. Yes.
Yeah, well, as it said, if you are anyway hustling, why not to hustle for your own freedom and not make somebody else's dreams?
Exactly, for your own freedom. So the step number one is the mindset shift. We got to understand, instead of we working hard for the money or hustle for the money, you can hustle, but you hustle not because you want to make money. As an entrepreneur, I believe that we work because we want to make an impact, and money is just a byproduct of we serving other people. Yeah. Makes sense? Mm-hmm. So I think the step number one is that mindset shift about having money working for us, not we work hard for the money. That's a mindset shift, right? So now we understand, okay, we're gonna have money working hard for us versus we working hard for the money. So how do we have money working hard for us? That's the $1 million question, right?
Yeah. So, that's why we have you today.
Right. So we understand the mindset. So where do we start? The step number one is every time we make money, whether you make money from a job, you make money from your business, the mistake that I see people make, especially business owner, they put all of the money that they make back to their business. So what I recommend is you make money first, right? And then you set aside 10% of your income and put it aside for the investment. That's a step number one. Okay, that's very, very important. You make it, you set aside. Like some people, they make money, but they don't know how to save money, right? Mm-hmm. So don't stop there. Once you set aside the investment, you're gonna know how to invest it, right? You make it, you invest, and then you also need to know how to keep it. Have you seen a lot of people, they understand I need to have money work for me, so they invest in like stock, crypto, high risk, high reward, so their money is going up and down, right? So they can grow, but they don't know how to keep. So you not only want to make it, you invest. The most important thing is how do you keep it? Is this making sense so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So you mentioned the percentage, right? So do you have any specific money management? One part is business, and obviously it can be also applicable, but also personal finances. Like for example, I've been using for, I don't know, an amount of years, like many years, the money management system that was introduced by harv eker. It's basically when you assign specific percentage to different purposes. Yes. So it's not like just creating a pillow or dark times fund, what you focus on.
I actually went through TR Recker's program. Actually, what he's teaching is really good. He said, actually, every time you make money, right, you set aside 10% to your financial freedom fund, which is for investing. And I'm going to show you how do you invest. And then the second, I think the second percentage, it's a 10% for the personal improvement.
Yeah.
I am a huge believer in personal improvement, right? And I do that every year. I set aside budget for my personal improvement, personal growth budget. For example, going to conference and hiring coaches and things like that, keep growing myself. And then the third one, he suggests set aside, it's a contribution. I feel this is more personal preference, right? If you feel that contribution, it's a huge need for you, you set aside 5-10%. And then the rest of the 70% that you can, also set aside 10% for long-term spending.
It's cars,
yes,
whatever it is.
Right. So what I am gonna focusing on today, it is you set aside the 10% for your financial freedom. How do you use that money? Because just putting that money in the bank, it's not gonna grow.
Absolutely not. It will actually decrease with the time.
Exactly, inflation, right? So I'm gonna share with you the 4 principles of investing and how does people can max out their investment and have money working for them. Number 1, it's growth. I don't know, is the financial system, is that different in UK or the US? Number 1 is you're gonna know how to grow your money. There's many vehicles out there, right? Real estate, stocks, and many vehicles. But today we are not talking about specific vehicles. We talk about the principle of investing. Think about wealth creation. It's kind of like health, building a healthy lifestyle. It's not about, okay, what am I going to eat today? How many vegetables? It's all about, what percentage of exercise I'm going to do? What percentage of eating healthy it's all about the principle about investing, okay? So the principle number 1 is growing your money. So number 2, it's called risk. So I've seen a lot of people, they understand to grow their money, but they don't know how to manage their risk. Is it making sense? Yeah, so you want to know how to grow your money, but you also need to know how to minimize the risk, okay? Number 3, in UK, I didn't know, but in US, there's a big expenses called taxes. Yeah, because taxes is huge. And what I see and made me very sad, people work their whole life to make money, and then they invest their money, but they put the money in the wrong vehicle, and then they end up paying a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
So what I teach people is how do you grow your money in a maximized way, and how do you minimize the risk? And most important thing is how do you minimize the taxes by putting all these strategies so that you can keep most of what you earn, right? And then the last principle, it's called health. Right now, you are so young, Valerie, and we probably didn't think about health. But I've seen in the US, a lot of people, when they get to 60, 70 years of age, the biggest expenses, it's actually health.
That's how it is. I mean, people really don't think about, when you said like it's young people, when we were young, we were not thinking about things like that actually our body pays us in so many years after this. So absolutely.
Right. And I was in a conference, I heard the speaker, he said, when we were young, all we talk about is girl. And then when we are 60s, all we talk about is, I got my heart surgery. I got my knee replaced, all those health issues. So health is one of the big thing that most people, they didn't think about. They spend their entire life earning money, grow their money. But because of health, they didn't pay attention, it ended up draining their entire years of saving and investing. So what I do is I help people put these 4 principles together and customize an investment plan that's customized for them. It's not a cookie cutter thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, the point like mindset, for example, as well as beside this is like people are really risk averse, or there's kind of fear associated with
Yeah.
investment, because the word investment makes people believe, oh, I have no idea what to do, what I'm going to do, right? But also, for example, I've been many times in situations, we live during such a time of uncertainty, and there was times when I faced, for example, I don't know, devaluation of money 3 times in a row, like during 10 days. It was insane. Or what we see in some countries nowadays, look at Russian Federation, for example, and there are many other countries that facing when people are becoming poorer and poorer literally every single day, just because they never ever thought that things like this can happen to them. And it's just a great sign that you should not put all eggs in one basket, and especially in one currency. And so, how to really start thinking from this kind of mindset of an investor? Um, when it comes to return on investment, when it comes to high low risk management, or I don't know, maybe there's another factors as an investor you evaluate. Where should I start actually putting my money? You
So
mentioned some vehicles like a property investment, it's crypto, it's stocks,
yeah,
but
that's why I don't like to talk about specific vehicle, because it's not may not suitable for everybody. But the principle, it's very important. The four principle that I just talked about, right? So where to start, to put it in a simple way, it's developing a good habit. And that's why another reason I hear what you're saying. A lot of people, they have this relationship with money. Some people have this scarcity about money. So that's why right now I'm study. I went above and beyond. I'm helping people. How do I help them handle the relationship of money? Okay. But today we're not talking about that. We just talk about a healthy money habit, right? I would say step one, no matter, even though you don't know where to invest, you always want to set aside a, a certain amount of money for your future investment, regardless. Okay, make sense? And once you do that, and what you're gonna do, I just want you to think about this, right? Having a long-term thinking about money, it's very important. I have seen some people, the people I saw that build a tremendous wealth, they all have this long-term thinking mindset. They come to me, they say, I don't care about short-term. Just tell me, what do I do long-term so I can build a solid long-term wealth? So that's a mindset. Number two, it's long-term thinking. So they just put the money aside and let it grow, let it run. They don't even think about that. That's long-term thinking. Okay. Another thing is diversification. Maybe you are very good at investing real estate. Maybe you are very good at investing in cryptocurrency. But is there any other way that can enhance your portfolio? So I would say always keep an open mind and learn a different investment vehicles. Okay. So I want you to think about this. Imagine that you set money aside, and then you have an investment vehicle that can give you the maximum growth on your money. And then you know that your money, it's minimize the risk. It won't go like up and down like that, right? And then you also know that the taxes, you don't need to worry about the taxes in the future when you do it right. And then you also know that whenever your health something happen, you have the plan to take care of that. Imagine that you have a vehicle like that to in your current financial blueprints. How do you think that will make you feel and make other people feel?
yeah. Well, it totally makes sense, and you're right. It's very individual approach. What do you really feel comfortable with investing? But as well
Yes.
as sometimes it's also, we're different types of people. Some people are all about taking the high risks and
Yes.
and then probably reinvesting money or whatever the plan is. But some people I'm better move slower, but I would love to, manage the risk, like take this low risk opportunities. But you're right, we need to educate ourselves about different opportunities that are available. And because everything is changing so fast, even in crypto space alone, this boom during the last years of NFTs and giving opportunities for people to really be early adopters, for example, and who were in the space from the maybe like the very beginning, or even stepped into this space like 5 years ago. It's easier for them to adapt to these new things, and it takes less time, right? Just to kind of have a broad picture. Of course, every day new things are happening and going on, but still. So absolutely. I have the question regarding like when I think it's one of the layers of investment is emotional management, because I think if you want to be a good investor, you have to figure out how to manage your emotions. And for example, I know I'm super emotional person, and that's why it cost me kind of money when it came to some kind of risky, let's say, ways of investments. What kind of advice do you normally give to your clients when it comes to emotional state management? Or what do you actually, what kind of advice do you take? Like, sometimes it's great to coach yourself, like how to really be stable and be very cold-minded when it comes to investing, especially when it's really roller coaster happening with its crypto market, but also sometimes property can be crazy journey.
Yeah, it is. That's why when it comes to investing money, start with the end in mind. It's very important. You gotta know what do you really want. So that one word, it's called clarity. So when it comes to money, investing, finance, there's one thing I'm very clear. It's I want passive income. That's my desire. That's my clarity, right? So once I have the clarity, why do I want passive income? Because I always imagine I have this money machine. It just like keep pumping the cash without me working. That's called passive income. Make sense? So once I have this clarity in mind, and then I work my way back. Like, okay, what kind of investment can give me passive income, right? So that way I won't be emotion roller coaster, because I'm very clear what I want. The people, when they go up and down or emotional, because they are not clear what they want. So when they see the market go up, they happy. When the money go down, they scared, right? So that's what you're talking about. So to me, what I'm looking at, it's long term. Like I know in the long term, my money it's gonna be always grow. So I have a little bit dip, no problem, because I have a long term thinking. And I also very clear that what I'm looking for is passive income. So all of the investment that I choose, it's gonna be towards that goal to help me create passive income. So with that being said, is stock market gonna be for me? No, because I don't enjoy the up and down, the roller coaster, and the stock market, it won't give me passive income because it can go up and down, right? And real estate, is that gonna give me passive income? Yeah, sure, it will give me passive income, because once the property is managed and have a nice cash flow, that's give me good passive income, right? And there's many other investment too. So that's how I evaluate my investment. That way I don't have any emotion. When you don't even have an emotion roller coaster, there's no point to manage. So instead of thinking about how to manage your emotion, think about how do you stop from the beginning that you don't even have the emotion, right? And when it comes to investing, I always apply the 4 principles. Am I maximizing my money? Yes. Am I minimizing my risk? Yes. Is my money tax efficient? Yes. Is my health is taken care of if something happened? Yes. If all those boxes check, I'm good. I'm peaceful. There's no emotion for me. Is this making sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you say, but I also meant that, for example, what you are talking about is like passive income. You have this specific goal, but there are also
Yeah,
some kind of strategies when you just want, for example, even in property, you want to flip, or it can be also in crypto market. You just want to flip your, I don't know,
yeah,
NFTs, whatever it is.
yeah.
So there is like difference when you, of course, investing in property that is going to be just let and you just enjoy the
Yes.
cash flow. Of course,
Yeah,
it's one point, but another point, and by the way, with the time, anyway, your property will be growing in value, no matter what is
exactly.
going on in the market. But sometimes people just go for like short-term money.
That's
So
a choice,
yeah,
right? If that's your choice to go through short term, then you need to be able to handle the pressure of,
yeah, exactly.
like, I have people, they do like hedge fund and things like that. I said, if that's your choice, you're gonna be okay with the up and down, right? It's called cause and effect, because you choose to go short term, you choose to go high risk, high reward. So that's the cause, and the effect is, if it's going down, you're gonna be okay with that.
Mm. I think the great advice I received was just like, if you go for such strategies, you just need to be ready to lose the money.
Yeah.
And that's why, based on like strategically wise, what is the amount of money should I invest in the high risk investment,
Yes.
you just need to be ready to say bye to your money in case something happens. Then you just like
And
sleep better.
I always ask myself those questions when I invest in high risk, high reward that I'm not quite sure about, right? I ask myself these two questions. Number one, what's the worst case scenario it will happen to the investment? Oh, the worst case scenario, I lose all of my money. Great. The second question I ask myself, if that's happening, am I okay with that? If okay, then I do it. If it's not okay, I won't do it. Let me tell you a story. One of my friends asked me, "Oh, come on, just invest in this some kind of coin, whatever." I said, okay, okay. I don't believe in it, but she keep. So I asked myself this question. Okay, the investment is 15,000. What's the worst case scenario it will happen? Okay, the worst case scenario, I will lose all of my 15,000. Number one. Number two, am I okay with that? Can I handle that? Sure, no problem. So I just give her 15,000, and guess what? I didn't never get my money back. There's no emotion because I already asked myself that question, right? It also, I'm responsible for it because I'm the person who made that choice.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's also like, I like the conversation today because we're talking actually the about the mindset behind the investment, because of course in this short conversation we cannot cover every single like investment strategy possible, because it will take, I don't know, years to discover one particular area. So it's really up to you, but I think it's a great start to talk about the mindset and your attitude and actually ask yourself the right questions. The last question I have is actually, there are different types of people. Maybe you have your own kind of classifications, but also I heard there are people like spenders, savers, avoiders,
Oh, yes,
monks.
yes.
Yeah, so is there is any balance? Because I do believe that more or less in every single area of life, or in every creature, there is kind of balance exists. So
Yes,
when we
I,
talk about
I hear
wealth,
you.
wealth, what is the balance between like spending your hard-earned money and enjoy life, and actually thinking about the future of your own future of your kids, right? In general, like
Yeah.
building your wealth and
Yes,
investing money.
that's a great question. You asked a great question. I tell you, Valerie, I'm a spender, I'm a consumer, I'm an investor.
Yay.
It's like in the old days, right? Like the generation from my mom, they only a saver. They
Yeah,
save every penny. They don't even enjoy life. Think
absolutely.
about this. One day when we are gone, go to the grave, none of this stuff that we have, we can take it away with us.
Mm.
We might want to enjoy it while you uh you are here, right? And another type of people like, oh, I want to live in the moment. I don't care. I want to spend every dime,
Yeah.
right? So we need to find that happy balance. So what I do is, like I mentioned in the beginning, every time I make money, I always set aside my investment. I know my investment is taken care of. That's my number one priority. And all of my investment vehicle, it's funded fully. That's my priority. And then my personal improvement, it's also funded, right? And whatever I have left, I just enjoy my shopping spree, right? I love shopping. I like to buy stuff, and I feel good about doing that because I know that my future, yeah, I know my future is taken care of. My kids is taken care of. My investment is taken care of. My personal improvement is taken care of. I can enjoy the shopping and become a consumer. But my priority.
Well, I didn't mention the play fund that is also part of the like money management system, but it's another thing. You just mentioned one thing, and I just reminded that there is a method. I don't remember the name. Maybe I will just put in the bottom if I find the name. A Japanese method of like managing money. For example, most of the time we are thinking about necessities and paying bills, and then if something left, people think, oh, maybe I will invest. While using this Japanese method, what you've mentioned, first of all, you think about the like you said it, investment, but it's basically what they're talking about is like saving this amount of money for specific, whether investment purpose or whatever it is, and then you are building your necessities and build based on basically what is more or less left, let's say.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So
So I can enjoy the moment, and also can know I have a bright future because my money it's growing and working hard for me while I'm in the moment and enjoy the moments.
yeah, absolutely great. So I hope our listeners, our viewers, get some insights, and just like comment and share what, if you're using any kind of money management system, if you find this advices or like insight that you learned today useful, are you ready to start implementing them? And in the end, I ask all my guests to like just this one thing. I believe we are all creators, creators of our own universe. As Angeline, creator, what is your message to people? What your voice would like to project and in a way light up?
Yes, my voice, you know what? You can become your own you can become your own the maker of your own financial destiny. You can become the maker of your own financial destiny, and it's very simple. You can do it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So just don't rely on the system. Don't put this responsibility on somebody else, on your, I don't know, spouse, partner, whoever, or I know sometimes it's good to hire a good financial manager, somebody is doing these things. However, it's great to also start educating, and as you, Angeline, you help people to be educated, to be aware about different options and opportunities. So really start investing your time, creating this education fund to also invest in your education and hire great, whether coach, whether just program, whatever works for you to be financially fit. Thank you very much for your time and sharing your expertise and knowledge today.
And also, I have a gift for your audience.
Oh, thanks.
You
We
mentioned
love gifts, right? Do we appreciate that?
Yeah, and you mentioned about my recently new release book, Cracking the Rich Code, right?
Yeah.
People, because I like to serve, and they can go to my website and they can download a free copy of the book so that they can start to learning and educate themselves. That's one gift that I offer, and they can just go to my website. If you want, I can give you the website, you can give it to them. And another thing is, I know we talk about a big picture, right? But if you really want to know how can this apply to you, I'd be more than happy to offer a 15 minutes consultation so that we can get to know you, and how can we customize a personalized a plan that just for you, and or maybe help you to find more clarity. So, and that's my gifts for your audience.
That's a very generous gift because you are actually giving the time to people, the
Yes.
most precious asset. Thank you very much for this generous gifts. We will definitely leave the links in the description box below. Thank you one more time for contributing to our mission to empower amazing entrepreneurs from all over the world who want to level up their life, level up their businesses. And I hope you were enjoying this episode, get some insights. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us in podcast, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and I see you in the next episode.